Good afternoon, you guys. I am Millie with Credit One USA. Um, mm, let's see. We're having a little problem, so I'm going to try this again. Bear with me a second. This is why I come in early, so I can try to get all of this working. Mm, 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 mm. So just bear with me a few minutes if this is your first time joining us or whatever. Say hi. I love it when y'all say hi to me. Um, Bear with me a second, you guys. I am trying to get this Instagram thing up and running so we can do live on both. Yeah, I need to know how to get that. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Let me see. Oh, this is where I want to be. Okay, we got 4 minutes, and I'm going to try this again and see if we can't get it working. Let's see. Let's see if it's working now. Nope, it's not. We're going to try this one more time. Y'all just bear with me a few seconds. This is why I come in early. So that I can work out all of the kinks before I do this with y'all. Copy. Okay, so I think it's working now. We got another minute. Y'all, this is new technology. Y'all just bear with me. I'll be trying it. So this is why I come here early, because y'all know this stuff be difficult for me, and I'm not the technology girl. It says I have an error. I tried it the best way I could. So I have them checking to see if Instagram will work. If it will, great. If not, hey, we'll go on without it, and we'll keep playing with it to see if we can't get it working one of these days. So it was working, and then it went to a black screen. I'm not quite for certain what's going on, but yeah. Anywho, It's almost 2 o'clock, and you know I like going live. So I'm going to say to all of my people who are here, good afternoon and happy Tuesday. I'm so excited about this Tuesday. You know, I love Talk to Me Tuesday, and I think we got a really awesome subject today. Um, we even have like a little video and stuff to like watch and follow along and stuff. So good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Y'all got like a minute to get here, and I'm gonna ask y'all for a couple more minutes because I got to share this to a couple groups. So just be a little patient with me. Bear with me while we get all of this stuff going. Um, OMG. Um, that's not my logo. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and delete that because that's our old logo. Y'all bear with me. We'll be having all kind of technology things going on. But anyway, it is 2 o'clock, so let me be the first to officially say, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday. I am your girl, Millie, with Credit One USA, and we are here for another Talk to Me Tuesday. I'm really, really, really excited about today's topic, so I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. Go ahead and get your pen and paper, get your questions ready, and make sure you're sharing this. I'm going to do that now. That way everybody has a minute to share it with their friends too. Hey, Alan, my baby, I ain't seen you all year. How are you? I know that's a cute way of saying that I ain't seen you all year. Be excited. Okay, so I'm going to share this and I want you guys to do the same. I got a whole list of people I'm going to share with. And, you know, technology is definitely taking the best of me. So just bear with me. Did you guys watch the game last night? If you didn't watch the game, you don't know what game I'm talking about, just move on past it. So did y'all watch the game last night? I want to know. I want to know while I'm doing all of this quick background stuff. Because I got a couple more groups to post to. And then we're going to jump into it. Now, if this is your first time joining us, not growing us, well, you're actually kind of growing us. Make sure you say hi and how you heard about us. We like to know so we can track it and see where people are coming from. I'm well missing my peeps. Yes, we do have to link soon. And hopefully you'll be cooking when we do it. I'm just thinking of the two of us, I think you should be the one doing the cooking, Ellen. Just, you know, taking it for what it is. It is what it is. I think Ellen should do the cooking when we link up. Or go to a really good restaurant, but you could cook too. And then we wouldn't have to go to a restaurant. I am sharing this to a couple of groups, so make sure you do that. Also, just a couple of rules. I answer questions at the end. So we're going to do our whole little thing. We're going to get through our topic today. And I'm really, really excited about this topic. We did a lot of work to get here. And so I want to make sure we get through it all. So bear with me a few more seconds. I got a couple of groups left and then I'll be ready. I got like 6. But my computer's going slow, so bear with me. Lord bless the takeout. Or you could just cook and then we wouldn't have to worry about that. I'm just saying. I don't know why Alan tries to get. Alan is a whole chef, y'all. Just so y'all can understand where this conversation is going. Alan is a whole chef talking about some we can bless the takeout. Bless the take. You know what? The Lord can bless the takeout. You could do another one of those eating things, and we could just order your food to go. Like, Boom, there we have it. A winning plan. I love it when a plan comes together, don't you? See, look at it. Y'all bear with me. I'm sorry it's taking me long. We had some technical issues and I was trying to work through it. But y'all know, if you know anything about me, I am not the tech savvy chick. I'm not. I'm really like, y'all, I want to be that person one day. It's just not who I am. Um, and so I try to come in early to make sure I do it, but it seems like the earlier I come, the more stuff that happens. So yeah. Anywho, um, I think we are almost through this stuff. So I'm gonna say we're gonna get started at 2:10. That way y'all have a few more minutes. And if you have credit questions, please, please, please go ahead and post them now. I like to get your questions in there so that I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And that I am answering all of your questions because we answer the questions about today's topics and we cover other things. So I like to do that as well. Yeah, I have a whole list to make sure I don't double share because it'd be a lot. There we go. Like for real, I only have 4 groups left this time. Like for real, for real. 3 groups left. Make sure y'all get y'all questions in here. Also, let me know how you heard about us. And Talk to Me Tuesday. I'm loving this part. I promise y'all, next week I'm going to get on 20 minutes early just to make sure this thing works. Because 10 minutes didn't really work for me today. So let me just answer this question. How long does a creditor can keep it on your credit report? So I'm assuming you're asking how long does an account last on your credit report? And the answer is they can report negative information for up to 7 years from the date of first delinquency in which the account was never brought back current. So it's 7 years from the time you mess up and don't fix it. So let's just say if you had an error in 2015 and you had some late payments, but you got caught up in 2016 and then you were late again in 2017, the clock actually starts as of 2017, not as of 2015 because you caught it back up. So it is 7 years from the date of first delinquency in which the account is not brought back current. So it's really important to know what that 7-year time period is because a lot of times we want to make it 7 years from the time we opened it or 7 years from the time we first messed up, even though we did better. And that's not the way it works. So just want to make sure that you're getting the complete information so that you can make the best credit decisions. Oftentimes I'll tell people you may want to just go ahead and pay it. And I'm just going to say this with you guys, being honest. Credit repair should not be about getting away with not paying your debt because that's actually not a good credit habit. And good credit habits is what lasts, and that's what keeps your score good. If it's, oh, I got away with a trick here and I don't have to pay anybody back, that doesn't last. Eventually, it catches up with you. And sometimes you can get stuff removed from your credit report and still be sued because violating its reporting does not absolve you of your financial responsibility. So I want to go ahead and say that before we get into today's topic, that credit repair is not getting away with it. It is making sure that everybody's being fair. And that means to make sure everybody's being fair, I have to do my part and be fair, but the creditors aka furnishers, have to do their part as well. So I'm really, really, really excited about today's Talk to Me Tuesday. We even put together a little thing for you. So we're going to go ahead and do it now. Yay. So today's topic is what to say when you dispute. And that's it right there. Y'all like it? I do too. Um, Now, this is the thing. Today's objectives are number one, to learn how to properly challenge the information on your credit report in accordance with the consumer laws. So you want to know how to do it the right way and not just to do anything. Um, and the other part of that says, what's the rules? Now, the rule is this, and this is the rule of thumb for credit repair, and it kind of is it for life. Number one, always be honest. Whatever you're doing, be honest with it. Um, don't lie to the creditors because you lose your credibility. And credit is short for credibility. So when you lie to them, nothing else matters. I want to go ahead and stop and say this. The reason why we are challenging in accordance with your consumer laws is because your consumer laws lead to legal recourse. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So, the part of it is number one, always be honest. And number two, be as detailed as possible. It's one thing if you say, hey, I think something's wrong. Y'all messed up on my report. So, you want me to look at everything and figure out what's wrong? No. Hey, you misspelled my name, creditor. Be detailed. That way they have the information and can help you, because at the end of the day, repairing your credit is to help you. So we want to always be honest and give them as much information as we can to help them. Now, a couple of quick terms we're going to go through because I always use these words and I want to make sure we know what they are. The first one is CRA, or Credit Reporting Agency. Now, it's really important that we know that because the credit reporting agencies are not just limited to the three credit bureaus. They can also be specialty agencies like if you have a bankruptcy, the court doesn't report that information. A third party company like LexisNexis does. So you need to know what credit reporting agency is having this information because you need to know how it got there. Okay. So the second term that we have is furnishers. Furnishers are the companies listed on your credit report that provide the information to the credit bureaus and or credit reporting agencies. So these are the people that do it. If you look at your credit report, you'll see, depending on who you have accounts with, you may see Capital One. Capital One is the furnisher. If you have an account with Franklin Collections, Franklin Collections is the furnisher, even if the debt came from, let's just say, Huntsville Hospital. Franklin Collections is the one that's reporting the information to the credit bureaus. Huntsville Hospital is reporting the information to Franklin Collections. So you want to know who's who and what's what so that we challenge it accordingly. The third term that we like to use, and I use this one a lot because it's really important, is legal recourse. Now, legal recourse is an action that can be taken by an individual or corporation in attempt to remedy a legal difficulty. So, reporting inaccurate information on your credit report is a legal difficulty, and there is some legal recourse that you may be entitled to. And yes, that's through lawsuits, and you may be able to sue. So, that's why this is so important. So moving on really quickly. Now that we have that, let's talk about the three basic types of inaccuracies. So when we're challenging information, they normally fall into one of these three categories: identity theft, and that's really basic and really popular, and it's where someone uses your information without your permission. Guys, it's really important that I stress the without your permission. The without is so important because if you tell your mama, cousin, sister, daughter, friend that they can use your social to get an account or to open up that Verizon bill and then they don't pay it, you can't go back and say it was identity theft because you gave them permission to use your information. And you knew. And in giving them permission, you agreed to be responsible for that debt. So it's not identity theft if you gave them permission. That's really important to know. The second one, which is kind of popular, but people don't, and people really think they're either identity theft or this, it's inaccurate information. And it's basically when your information isn't correct and it isn't identity theft or a mixed credit file. Now, the mixed credit file is the one that's not really popular in terms of people talking about it, but it happens a lot. And what a mixed credit file is when someone else's information is combined with your information and reported on your credit. So it's when two or more people are showing up on one credit report. And we're going to talk about each of these a little bit so that we know how to do this. Just a second. Okay. Going on to the next screen. Bear with me a second. So, identity theft. This is the really big one. And so a lot of people have, if you're a victim of identity theft, the very first question that we always ask is, when did you first see this information? So when did you first know you were a victim of identity theft? That's really important because that determines your timeline and sometimes some of the legal recourse options you have. So knowing when is really important. Number 2, did you file a police report or a claim with the Federal Trade Commission? Did somebody know that you did identity theft? If you haven't, you should be. So step 1, find out about it. Step 2, file a report. Step 3, did you notify the furnisher? Now, I say furnisher, and when I say furnisher, does anybody remember what I'm talking about? If you remember, put a little note in there, or give me a like or something so I know. Okay, we're gonna move on because I saw a couple of them little things, but I gotta make sure I get through this. So when you see that, when you see furniture, you want to know, did you let them know? Did you say, hey, no, that wasn't me. I didn't do that, because they'll send you out paperwork usually if you say I'm a victim of identity theft. So once you find out about it, and then you file your claim, you can either do it through the Federal Trade Commission or you can go to your local precinct. You can also contact the creditors, but you're usually going to want that. Then you're going to write your letter. Now, when you write your letter, all of the information and the questions I just asked you are going into there. So let's just say, hey, Capital One, I noticed on my report on December the 7th that there was an account there, and I've never had an account with you guys. I took this information to the Huntsville Police Department and I filed a report. It's attached here. Please delete this information from my credit report immediately, as this was not me. And then I'm going to send them a copy of the credit report and the letter. See? It's really simple, isn't it? And then I'm going to track it. I'm going to send it certified mail so I can track it, because I want to know when you got it so you can delete it, because you only get 45 days maximum, and I want it off. So there's that one. Now, the next one that we have, I'm sorry, y'all, I got to go back and forth between screens. Inaccurate information. Now, it's really important when we're dealing with inaccurate information that we don't ignore personal information. We tend to look at things like, oh, I don't have that balance, it's not right. I used to pay my bills on time. I wasn't late in February. This isn't my account. I was listed on my sister's account, but it's her account. That kind of stuff. But we ignore the fact that you spelled Millie, Milly. No, that's not me. I don't respond to that. Or you spell gun, Gun. No, ma'am, I have 2 N's in my name and I want both of them. Or you got me living in Cincinnati, and y'all know I would never live in a state that has an O. That's a whole different conversation, but y'all know I didn't live in Cincinnati. Okay, so when you're challenging it, you want to make sure you're looking at the balance, you're looking at the history, you're looking at the owner of the account, and you're looking at the account type and making sure all of that is correct But you also want to make sure the addresses that they have on file for you is correct. The spellings of the names that they have for you are correct. The date of birth that they have is correct. Your employers, a good indication of identity theft can be that a previous employer is looking on there. You want to look at inquiries. I didn't apply for no doggone Best Buy account. So then later on, if a Best Buy pops up, I know in advance that this wasn't me when I saw the inquiry because I didn't apply at Best Buy. So I don't have to wait till the account shows up because the inquiry I didn't do. So those are things that you want to look at for inaccurate information because it may mean that inaccuracy is actually a victim of identity theft or our third type of account, which is called mixed credit file. And yay, mixed credit files kind of look like identity theft, but it's not. So I used a couple of pictures here because I think that this is the best indication of some of those um, types of mixed identities. Fathers and sons with the same name. In my family, my brother, I actually call him three because he's the third generation of Mark. My daddy's name is Mark, and his dad's name is Mark, and my brother's name is Mark. So when looking at it, like I remember one time, a long time ago, I actually text my brother, and I was like, "Hey, pops, I need you to do such and such and so and so," and he was like, "I would, except I'm not your daddy." And he's kind of a butt, so he like talks like that. But he's not my daddy because I have them both in my phone under Mark. It just actually I pulled up the wrong Mark. And unfortunately, when the names are the same or similar, and normally they live in the same household or use the same address and they're from the same city and stuff like that, it's easy to mix up the marks. Um, Another example of that is when you have twins or family members with close birth dates and or names and addresses and things of that nature. So got to be careful with that. I got two brothers that were born what 10 months apart, 11 months apart. Your social, they have the same initials. They lived in the same house. Their date of birth is a couple weeks apart. And your social is normally determined based on your name, your ad, where you're born at, your birth year, and all of that stuff. So all of their numbers are really close. So it's really easy, again, to mix those things up. Now, the other one is the one in the middle, and I like this one because I like this picture because I thought it was really cool. So on the left is Chris Evans, if y'all don't know. But on the right in the middle picture is also Chris Evans. So sometimes when you're talking about Chris Evans, I might be thinking about the guy on the left, and you're actually talking about the guy on the right. And they're the same, and both names are right. So it's not like you're Chris Evans, you should have called him something else. He goes by Christopher. No, he's Chris. He's Chris Evans. They both are. And sometimes that actually happens with your credit reports too. So there's two Chris Evans and they both live in Huntsville and they both visited Huntsville Hospital. Oops, we got the wrong one. And so now I put the right Chris Evans on the left Chris Evans credit report. And that also is wrong. But if I validate it and say Chris Evans was never at the hospital, I didn't go to the hospital and I'm Chris Evans, they're gonna come back and be like, yeah, we got record of you being here, Chris. So how you challenge that is correct. And this is very important. That's why stuff like, again, going back to the names, the addresses, and all of that information is super, super, super critical and important. So let me go to the next screen. That ain't for y'all. Ha! Boom. We're at our end. So if you are trying to dispute yourself and you need assistance or help with this, you can always give us a call at 855-273-3663 or visit us online at www.creditoneUSA.com and we'll do the disputing for you. You don't even have to go through all of that. So yay. I think I'm done with this presentation. Thank you. I love it. Okay, so that was my cute little presentation, and I told you guys I was really excited about it, and I was. because that actually takes work. So now that we went through the entire credit repair and what to say when you're disputing, let's go through some of these questions. Debbie Lee said, how long does it take? How long can a creditor report information on your credit? I'm going to show you. That's her question. And what the answer is, it is 7 years from the date of first delinquency in which the account was not brought back current. What that means is it's 7 years from the first time you were late. So if you were late in 2015, but you caught it back up and you were on time in 2016, and then you were late again in 2017 and you never paid it again, the 7 years starts from 2017, not 2015. Okay? Now, Miss Melissa says, on my credit report, it says that I have a red flag for not paying a doctor's loan, but it's now paid. How long does it take to clear off my report? Same rules apply. 7 years from the date of first delinquency. Typically, in a case like this, when you've paid it, we normally do a pay for deletion where we'll ask the creditor, because I paid it, will you remove it? Or you do it as part of your settlement negotiations where when you're settling the debt, you say, if I pay this, will you agree to remove it? If they did that, it normally takes up to 45 days for that actually to be deleted, and you want to make sure you get a copy of that in writing. Jocelyn said, cute PowerPoint. Thank you, love. Okay. Jay says, how to increase your credit limit without getting new cards. If you have existing credit, you can ask them how often they do credit limit increases. Typically, creditors will do what's called an account review, and they kind of just peek in at your credit. Doesn't count as an inquiry, but they'll just kind of peek in a little bit, and they'll say, Jay doing really good. Let's bump her up a little bit. Now, the secret sauce to that is you got to be in a position to get that bump. So if you have your balance low, if you have a 0 to 6% utilization, maybe have multiple credit cards, low balances, maybe a balance on one, less than 6%, like I said, then you'll be in a prime position for them to increase it. Otherwise, you're actually going to have to. And then again, you always have to consider who you have credit with, because it may be time that you have outgrown this particular credit card. And when that happens, it's just time to move on and get somebody else. I remember when I started, I had this Merrick Bank card, and I think my limit was something like $250 when I was rebuilding my credit after, life happened. Um, and eventually, I just outgrew the card. It wasn't a bad card. It was a bad card. It was a bad card. It wasn't the worst card. There was no annual fee and all of these wonderful things, but it just wasn't good for me anymore and where my credit had progressed to. And just because you've gotten better doesn't mean that your creditor also gets better. So it may be time to look for something different. It may be time to start checking out those offers that come in the mail. And do that. Now, you also said, and avoid hard pulls. And this is why we ask about the credit limit increases and ask them how often they do that, because we're not asking them to pull it. We're asking them about their policy and their procedure, because that will help you to determine when you can do that. Now, if you guys have credit questions, feel free to go ahead and ask them now. I am answering them live, and I did go through our thing. Yeah, that don't have nothing to do with this. Ooh, people mad about this game. Okay, y'all. So let me get back to the slide to make sure. Come on. If y'all have more questions, please post them. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes, and then if I don't see them, I'm going to jump off of here, because I got people who are inboxing me and want to talk. And I'm going to try to figure out what happened on Instagram so we can get that working for the next one. Instagram is not my favorite friend. I be trying, but I'm not the best with it, I'll be honest. Okay, y'all. So it is 2:30. I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes, and then if I don't see any more questions, I'm gonna jump off of here and see y'all next Tuesday. Now, if you have a specific credit question that you would like to ask, and you want to talk in private, you can always direct message Credit One USA. You can inbox us. Um, you can email us at customercare@credit1usa.com. You can contact us online by visiting www.credit1usa.com, or you can give us a call at 855-273-3663. Now, Jay said, when is a good time to apply for, I'm assuming you mean a new credit card. Um, Typically, I want you to have a low balance and to have your credit cards for at least 2 years. Now, what's good for you may not be good for me. So, the most important thing is that you look at your credit profile and determine what you're looking for. Don't just get a credit card to have a credit card. You want to make sure that this is something that is in line with your goals. I get credit cards based on, I have one credit card because I have teenagers that like to shop at Belk, and Belk gives extra discounts for being a card holder. I have a couple of major credit cards and a couple of store cards because this is things that I use, but not just to have one. So you want to be very strategic about that. Now, Linnell said I should probably inbox you and want to talk to. Just popped in and say, hey, cuz these are also my office hours, but we don't have one on Zoom right now. Oh, cool. Well, listen, Linnell, you can always message me, boo. You got my, and you have my number. So, yeah. Y'all know I got family everywhere. And so, yeah, she's amazing, by the way. JJ said, when is a good time to apply for a line of credit? Depends on what you're using a line of credit for. So if you're looking for a line of credit to grow a business, it depends on your credit profile. If you're just looking for a line of credit in case, normally when your score is up. So again, always think about what's the goal of this? Why are you getting a line of credit? Are you just getting something to have something? Because credit should only be used to save you money or make you money. So why are you getting a line of credit? Is it to save you money on something else, or is it to make you money for something? Good afternoon, Mr. Chris. I feel like being really, really messy right now, but I'm not going to do it. But if anybody wants to post a comment now about how Georgia beat Alabama, I'm all for it. But I'm not going to do that right now. Not in the middle of my live broadcast. Live is Tuesday. This is so terrible. She's one of the few people who actually can do this. I'm doing Talk to Me Tuesday right now, sis. What's up? Good afternoon. Y'all bear with me 1 second. She's so terrible. I don't even know how to mute this. Do you know the passcode? I love my sister. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes in life, you get those little things and you got to go handle that immediately. I had some members at my door too. Normally we're closed from 2 to 3 during lunch hours, but hey, so if y'all have more credit questions, you can do that. Quick recap, because we did go through a whole video today and I like it. I'm going to just show y'all really quickly. So what to say when you dispute. We talked about the objectives. Always, always, always be honest. Some key terms. The different types of inaccuracies. This is really, really important because the identity theft is a different dispute than if it's just inaccurate information. And you don't want to use the wrong dispute. Never, ever, ever lie. Never, ever, ever lie. Never say that doesn't belong to me. I was a victim of identity theft and it not be true, because that shoots your credibility. And if they're reporting anything inaccurate, you'll lose the ability. It makes it harder to get legal recourse because you started off by not being honest. So always be honest. There are other ways to challenge information than lying. So never do that. Never. I know a lot of people will say go get a police report. Don't get a police report unless you're an actual victim of identity theft. So that's really important. So I wanted to go back to that one. Also, mixed credit files are really not popular, but they happen more often than you know. So make sure that your information isn't mixed up. So it's really important if you're a junior, the third or something like that, make sure you're using your name and not your parents' name. So wanted to go through that. So really quickly, moving back over to mixed credit files. A lot of times you'll see that with fathers and sons, and sometimes you'll see it with siblings who have similar names and things of that nature. And even you'll see it with random strangers. Like I use this picture because they're both named Chris Evans. I thought that was really funny. And if you ever need assistance doing this, you don't have to dispute yourself. That's what we're here for. We'll do all the heavy lifting for you. Just give us a call at 855-273-3663 or visit us online at www.creditoneseusa.com. Now, I don't see any other questions. I'm sure Mr. Shackelford meant to say go Bulldogs, so I like it. Oh, you said debit cards versus credit cards. I'm gonna have to do a whole live on that because that's a whole thing by itself. The benefits of debit cards, when to use debit cards versus credit cards, because we're not always using them in the wisest of ways. Sometimes your debit card can save you money that your credit card wouldn't do. But as a general rule of thumb, I tell people to use your credit card like a debit card so that it makes you money and you don't pay interest on it. So that was today's Talk to Me Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. We'll be right here at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on Credit One USA's Facebook page. And hopefully next week we'll be back on Instagram as well. If you have any questions in the meantime or want to contact us directly, you can reach us at 855-273-3663, or you can visit us online at www.creditoneseusa.com. As always, I want you guys to wear your face mask. See, I got mine. See, I put it on whenever somebody comes. So I got my face mask. I use my little hand sanitizer. Got my hand sanitizer. I've been washing my hands, practicing social distance, all of that. Whatever it takes for you to stay safe, do that. Get your boosters, get your vaccines. Don't get them, whatever, that part's on you. But do whatever it is to protect yourselves and each other. So until next time, stay safe, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for joining today's 750 Score Challenge. Talk to Me Tuesday.